Hey, welcome back, BPD family. When I say back, that's kind of weird because this is the first video on my podcast channel, BPD Podcast. And today I bought my buddy, Mitchmaster 3000, notorious MIATCH. Miach.
Like it.
Yep. Anyhow, today we're here to do a draft show just like we did last year. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Me and Mitch doing the draft on my podcast channel. Finally, podcast channel's been up for like a year and we've put nothing on it. So today is the day.
Good first one.
All right, today obviously we're going over the 2024 NFL draft. And Mitchmaster has got his mock draft prepared for us. So we're going to go through pick by pick. Mitch, who you got number one?
Number one, after a very long, strenuous debate, that would be Caleb Williams.
Oh my god, you're kidding me! Wow!
Listen, there was a lot of people I could have put there, like Byron Murphy and J.J. McCarthy, if you will. But no, I think, big body.
Serious. There's only one person.
Yeah, there's only one. It's Caleb Williams. As much as I myself am not a fan, guy's a big, talented playmaker. Big time school, quarterback pedigree school.
Big time you do.
And you're not gonna waste a pick on a lower tier.
No, you cannot not pick Caleb Williams because if he turns out to be who everyone says he's going to be, then you can't be the people that passed on that.
Yeah. Yep.
Do I think he's going to be a sure thing? There's no such thing as a sure thing, even at number one.
It's either Randall Cunningham or Jamarcus Russell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So at number two, what do you got?
Got Drake May out of UNC.
So you have Mr. May over Daniels. Why?
Well, I took May here because I feel like Washington wants to go back to a little more conventional style, a little more spread. Kind of just spread the ball out to guys like Terry McLaurin and whomever they may draft to be their receiver too.
Okay, I don't think this was much of a question. Obviously, I don't know. In my mind, we're going to get quarterbacks 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if you agree, but who do you got at number 3?
Jaden Daniels.
There we go.
I have Jaden Daniels going 3 if New England keeps the pick.
See, here's my only thing with this. I think that in New England's mind, May is more their guy.
I do too, but I also could see
if they feel like May is going to get picked by Washington, that they may do everything and move heaven and earth to move up to that spot.
I could see that too, but I could also see Gerard Mayo coming in and being like, okay, this system after Brady hasn't worked. We have to change it up. We have to get with the modern times.
Go ahead.
And I think Jaden Daniels is a bigger playmaker than May, but I think May fits the Washington scheme a little better, which therefore slots Daniels perfectly to a brand new head coach, could run a brand new offensive system, and I feel like he would be comfortable in New England.
How about the possibility of them trading back 2 slots and getting their Michigan quarterback?
That's been rumored. I don't. Aside from Brady and Kraft's friendship, I don't see any reason for them to do so because I feel like if you get rid of Bill, in which they did.
That's true. With Bill not being there, when I say they're going to go conventional.
Yeah, I think they're going to try
something.
Things may have changed. Because as we saw, the lovely Mac Jones worked out so well in the New England system. So I think they're going to make some changes. They're going to get a little more dynamic on offense, and I think a great fit.
Well, the rub on Mac Jones is, I mean, honestly, other than Tua and Hurts at this point, what successful quarterback has come out of Alabama in a long time. So, all right, so on to number 4.
So, I think if Arizona holds on to the pick, which they've said they may not, Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's solid.
I think, big body receiver, something Kyler hasn't had since Larry. Definitely the most dependable guy in the draft at the receiver position. Has a little bit of a character issue, some may say, with not talking at the pro day, not running at the pro day, not doing anything that could elevate his draft stock out.
But how could he elevate his draft stock?
He couldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
He couldn't. But to some people, some places, that could be a red flag. But to me, if the Cardinals don't deal the pick, which they've been heavily hinting at, they're trying to get people to bite on it, it's Marvin.
Okay. And the 5 golden rings? Who's at number 5?
That would be Malik Neighbors. I have Malik Neighbors going to the Chargers.
Okay.
You lost Keenan Allen. You lost Mike Williams. You have no big play receiver.
So we have receivers going back to back.
Back to back.
4 and 5. That's pretty impressive. All right, how about number 6, Mitch?
New York hasn't had one of these in a long time.
Well, first of all, I thought you stripped.
Huh? No.
I thought you stripped
New
out.
York
Okay.
hasn't had one of these in a long time. A big play wide receiver.
Republican governor?
Correct.
Okay. He's going wide receiver 4, 5, and 6. This man's lost his mind.
Rome Odunze.
God bless.
I think he gives the Giants offense something that they severely needed. You know, you've had guys like Darius Slayton, Kenny Golladay, haven't produced a thing. And, you know, you paid Daniel Jones. You didn't pay Saquon.
Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes was making Danny millions.
Yeah, you didn't pay Saquon. So, you know, in another world, you could have seen maybe an edge rusher or an offensive tackle, but if you want to do right by Daniel Jones, which you kind of already said that.
Well, I mean, since you paid him the money, you got to do something.
Yep. So I took Rome Odunze.
All right. All right, Mitch, how about number 7?
I've got Joe Alt, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame, coming to Chicago.
First tackle off the board. He is consensus, the top tackle.
He is.
On pretty much everyone's board.
And I think that with a young quarterback, you get probably the best tackle in the draft. And, you know, you build that offense around a strong rookie tackle, a strong rookie quarterback, and a completely revamped wide receiver room.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what you got, if you don't have a line, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
Number 8 is
New York Jets, Olu Fashanu, offensive
Another
tackle from Penn State.
Yeah, he's who
Mekhi Becton has not worked out for them. Okay.
I really like.
I
I really like him. I wish the Steelers picked higher.
Yep.
All right, so we're at number 9. Who do you got at number 9?
The Minnesota Vikings. Take that Michigan man you were talking about,
Okay.
J.J. McCarthy.
Alrighty. What do you think his outlooks are?
I think this is a stretch pick. For some reason, Minnesota loves him. I've seen him as the most basic of the quarterback talent in the draft. I don't see him as a first-round guy. I saw him making kind of standardized throws for quarterbacks coming out of college. I didn't see a big play factor come out of McCarthy, but for some reason, Minnesota just loves him.
Okay, well, number 1 with McCarthy, no one knows how he's going to produce when he doesn't have a team that's running for 300 yards a game, because you're not going to get that in the NFL every day. And when the team is, you know, piling the box to stop the run, any semi-good quality quarterback can make those throws. So we'll see how that pans out in the NFL. And finally, at number 10,
the Broncos find their answer at quarterback.
Oh, I thought they already found their answer.
Oh, yeah, Zach Wilson. I'm so
it's
sorry.
Over. It's done. They're not taking
This
the quarterback.
draft has been updated since Zach Wilson was traded to Denver. Michael Penix Jr. from Washington.
Okay, what do you like about Penix?
Big, dynamic playmaker, a la Jaden Daniels. Two very similar looking guys coming out of the draft. With Penix, I think he had a little more surrounding help throughout his years, both at Indiana and at Washington. So I think him coming into a system like Denver could be a little tough for him. There's already word going around that Cortland Sutton could be on the move. The running backs in Denver
are always decent.
They're always okay.
Yeah. The offensive line's not great, though.
Yeah, the offensive line isn't great, so I do think they follow that up later on with a couple picks later on in the draft. But to clear the elephant in the room, I think Denver takes a quarterback here, and I think the best available at this point is Penix.
Okay, well, my thoughts on Penix, obviously, everyone has taken a lot of, to take some shine off of him from the Michigan experience. Michigan's probably the one, other than Georgia, was probably, the closest thing you're going to get to a pro-style defense, a tough defense he faced. My only issue with Penix, 6-year senior.
Mm-hmm.
And really it took him that long to get it. Is any team going to allow him that amount of time to develop, especially in a place like Denver where they need competent quarterback play immediately?
Ready. I mean, the only other move you could see here is Denver sneak up and grab Bo Nix.
I think Denver's getting the quarterback no matter what.
Yeah, I think they do too. And I think that Penix and Nix here are very interchangeable. I think...
wow, that's a bold statement.
I think Nix is, kind of a more sturdier build kind of guy. As to where Penix brings you slightly more athletic, dynamic play. It just kind of felt like a Penix move over.
I agree that's going to happen. I'm not saying if that's the right thing.
Yeah.
But I agree. They need a quarterback. They're way back in 10th. They're already paying Russell Wilson $38 million or whatever it is. So they're not going to have a lot of choice as far as flexibility to move around. All right, that's our top 10 mock from Mitch, and we'll get back with the rest. All right, an overview of the top 10. We've had 5, count them, 5 quarterbacks taken. I don't know how long it's been since that's happened. We have 2 tackles and 3 wide receivers. 3 positions in the top 10. Where are all these other positions going, Mitch? How about number 11?
You like quarterbacks? The Raiders don't want to go into the year with Aiden O'Connell. So they pick up on Denver's potential mishap, and they draft Bo Nix from Oregon.
Wow.
I think he's a guy that can fit in that offense better potentially than Derek Carr did, better potentially than what Aiden O'Connell did. Gives them a little more of a running game with him, but can also get the ball downfield to whatever receiver they decide to try out there.
I'll tell you now, as a Steeler fan, this is the Steelers' biggest hope that 6 quarterbacks go before they choose. All right, so who we got at number, 12?
So I feel like a big need in New Orleans was a way to get Alvin Kamara going last year.
Okay.
And I think they do that by strengthening up the O-line. And I've got him taking J.C. Latham from Alabama.
Boy, does that hurt. Tackle, Alabama.
Yeah.
That hurts tremendously. That's the guy I would love the Steelers to get.
Yep.
But, he's probably going to be too rich, and Steelers are lucky to have 2 third-round picks this year.
Yeah.
So they would definitely have to give up one of those to move up. So,
Yep.
All right, cool. What we got at number 13?
So we've got the Indianapolis Colts. They just locked up Michael Pittman Jr. to a long-term deal. They're looking to build that offense around Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to give them Dallas Clark 2.0 and Brock Bowers from Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, they want to give Richardson all the weapons that he can have.
And I think that's a great one to build around.
Okay. I thought maybe they might consider offensive line just a little bit more protection for Richardson, but that also helps him too. You have a nice safety valve receiver, and Brock Bowers is dynamic as all get out. So where are we at? 14?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who we got?
So you want to switch sides of the ball now? So the Seahawks, something that they haven't had in a while again, a dominant edge rusher.
Okay.
Leatu Latu from UCLA.
All right.
You know, it's been a while since we've seen a dynamic defensive front come out of Seattle, and I think Latu kind of just makes the most sense there. Get some pressure on that NFC West quarterback room and just really start making, you know, bigger opportunities for that Seattle back end to make some bigger plays downfield and get to the quarterback up front.
Works for me. Who we got at 15?
So, Jacksonville. I've got them taking Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo.
And that is the corner.
That is the corner.
Yes.
I think Jacksonville needs a dynamic playmaker on defense. The cornerbacks, I remember watching the game before the playoff game, and I looked at that Jacksonville defense and I thought, I don't know any of these defensive backs. I don't know a single one. And Quinyon Mitchell would come into that room and probably immediately emerge as the front runner of that entire
All right, Mitch, how about pick 18?
I have offensive tackle Troy Fatanu from Washington going to Cincinnati.
Giving old Joe Cool some protection there.
Yeah, it really came down to the fact that a lot of draft scouts were saying that potentially Fatanu could play guard as well. And I know they just signed Orlando Brown last year, so they really don't need the tackle help. So if they can transition him into a guard role, I think that would really build the offensive line there for him.
All right, at 19, Washington Commanders. Who do you got them taking?
The Washington Commanders. I have them taking Tualise Fuaga from Oregon State.
Okay. Also a tackle, correct?
Also a tackle.
All right.
Again, another one of those Chicago Bears style moves. You know, we've got a young quarterback, we've got a young core, got a new head coach. What better way to go into that is to protect a young quarterback with a young, big, studded offensive tackle.
All right, now we're on to the greatest pick in the draft, the Steelers pick at number 20. And
20.
I have the Steelers pick as Amarius Mims, offensive tackle from Georgia. I think he's young, raw, gigantic, and has probably the top potential, the top ceiling of any tackle in this draft. And you put him alongside his old teammates, two teammates, and Broderick Jones and Mr. Washington at tight end. And you bring him along slow because Dan Moore's not the greatest tackle in the world, but we won 10 games with Dan Moore last year, so he'll get us through some games until Mr. Mims is ready to go. Who do you got at number 20?
I don't know if this is going to surprise you or not, but I also have Amarius Mims. I think that, you know, building around a young tackle, as I've said with both Chicago and Washington, I think the big, bold change in the offensive dynamics in the NFL builds around young quarterbacks, young tackles, and player familiarity with all of those positions combined. So I think that what better way to make, number one, Broderick Jones more comfortable up front, and a young guy with potential upside in Justin Fields after Russell Wilson sees his way out of town after the year. I think it would be a great thing for him to add Amarius Mims to this offensive front.
I like it. Genius. Think so. All right, so at number 21, we have the Miami Dolphins.
And you know what? I think the best move for them, I was between two. You know, Christian Wilkins is gone. I think the best move for them is Byron Murphy II from the University of Texas.
Which, for me, in a perfect world, if the Steel as a luxury pick, I think Dan Moore isn't that bad.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, I would love to sew up that position that's going to be vacated by Cam Hayward in the next couple of years. But yeah, I like the kid. I like the kid for sure.
I think he is. I think he's something spectacular coming out of Texas. I think he is the biggest threat at defensive tackle in the draft. You know, he's a big kid, real fast. You know, he makes a lot of big plays from a position that you don't really hear about anymore. And I think what better way for Miami to replace Christian Wilkins than to get Byron Murphy.
All right, number 22, we have the Denver Broncos.
So, what better way to make a big splash in the draft for Denver to not only get a quarterback, but to make a steal to partner up with Patrick Surtain and to grab Terrion Arnold from Alabama.
All right.
I think that defense, you know, after the loss of Justin Simmons, they're at safety. I think they're going to need some back-end defensive back help. And I think the alleged number one guy in that group, some people will debate between Mitchell and Arnold until the day is done. I think Mitchell does take the first slot for the corners, but I think Arnold follows short behind, and Denver gets a huge hole filled.
And traditionally, Denver's always been about the running game and the defense. So, all right, who we got at Minnesota? Who are they going to pair with Mr. Penix?
I'll go Chop Robinson. I'll go with Chop Robinson. Big edge rusher out of Penn State. Us being guys that love Big Ten football.
Yeah, if you're a High State fan, you've seen that dude.
Yeah, we've seen enough of Chop. I want nothing to do with him, so go ahead, send him to the NFC.
Yes, good luck with your future endeavors, Mr. Robinson.
Let him enjoy his time over there.
Okay, we got the Cowboys at 24.
I'm doing this for the sake of the Steelers getting Jackson Powers Johnson in the second round. I think they're going to go with Graham Barton. I think this is allegedly, some people say, the best center prospect in the draft. Coming out of Duke, who doesn't really get a lot of love in the football world, I think Barton being a dynamic center with great footwork, great size, I think the kid can just play there.
I believe Powers has only played 1 year at center. Barton has more experience there. But I mean, Duke does play in the ACC. ACC has been down the last few years, so level competition. We'll see. Shall see. Now at number 25, we have the Green Bay Packers.
This might be my favorite pick in the draft. You know, a real high motor guy, a lot of grit, a lot of passion coming out of this guy. And that would be Cooper DeJean, corner from Iowa.
Ooh, Rashad Mendenhall, watch out.
I think, you know, being slightly undersized, being the outlier, if you will, of the cornerback position, I think Cooper DeJean can make some really big plays as a nickel or an outside corner. I think he could just really develop well into that Green Bay defense.
Yeah. Yeah, number 26.
You know,
who's that? Tampa?
That is Tampa. At 26, I had Jared Verse, edge rusher out of Florida State. You know, guy that really got slept on coming into this draft.
Don't know a lot about him.
Yeah, huge kid, decent speed coming out of, you know, Florida State. Was really one of the bright spots on a rather lackluster defense. I think it's a good move here.
All right, who we got at 27?
I am going to go with Jerzon Newton.
Okay, tell me about him.
I think as a defensive tackle, I think it's another one of those holes that Arizona can fill up, another big body in the middle of the defense that obviously needs a lot of help, being one of the bottom 4 teams in this draft.
Makes sense. We have him going offense with the first pick. Now time to shore up the defense.
I think that they could really use a guy like Newton to help shore up everything on their back end as well.
That would be the third defensive tackle that you have coming up? All right. All right, so we got number 28. We have the Buffalo Bills.
You know, I went back and forth on this pick. You know, I wanted to see them get a safety because they lost both of theirs. But then they lost Steph Diggs. And when you lose Stephon Diggs and you pick at 28 and everybody's got their receivers now, you're taking an absolute steal at 28 and Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU.
I like it.
I think, you know, when you've got a guy who was running the field with Malik Neighbors and still can get picked in the first round, I think it's an absolute stud. I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, who's our number one receiver right now? Sammy Watkins, I think. Or what's his name?
It's not even Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know who the number one receiver. I just threw.
If anybody knows, can we please write in the comments?
All right, number 29, we have the Detroit Lions.
Well, they also need a corner because Cam Sutton is somewhere else.
Yeah, actually, I think the charges are dropped.
I think so, but they also completely released him from his contract. So we're going with the best name in the draft. We're giving the Lions Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama.
He just drank the Kool-Aid, obviously.
Another big physical corner coming out of Alabama. Seen him make tons of plays against great teams.
Big play guy.
Yeah, huge. Just absolute steal of a guy to have.
All right, number 30, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Ew, the Ratbirds, as we call them here.
Probably
No offense, Ravens fans.
fastest corner in the draft.
Another corner.
Taking Nate Wiggins from Clemson. So another ACC guy. I believe he's rather small for a corner. But if memory serves me correctly, he's going to run stride for stride with any receiver in the league and be able to make any available play possible.
We shall see, because the Steelers will be testing him. Yeah. All right, number 31, the San Francisco 49ers.
You know, I've seen a lot of mock drafts have these two guys intermixed at these two positions. So I'm actually going to take the inverse of what I've seen most, and I'm going to take Adonai Mitchell from Texas here. Now, I think Mitchell is the better of the two receivers from Texas. I think he's more crisp in the route running department. I think he is the bigger threat, both in the middle of the field and downfield, you know, with his route running abilities, and that's why I've got him going 31.
Okay, so with San Fran taking a receiver, does that mean someone may be moving?
Don't know.
Okay, and I think to round off the first round, we have the Kansas City Chiefs.
And just like I said, these two names have been flipped back and forth. We've got the fastest man ever at the NFL Combine coming out of the University of Texas, Xavier Worthy. You know, Kansas City was really hurting for a speed threat at the receiver position last year. Rashee Rice, I don't know where you are. I hope you're okay. We don't know where Rashee Rice is.
He's going to be on Patrol Live, I believe, Friday at 8 o'clock.
I hope so. I really hope he has turned himself in, and hopefully whatever charges he has brought against him, I hope whatever's found.
It's not nice to make fun of others' misfortune.
Yeah. But, you know, the other Texas receiver, you know, an absolute speed threat. You know, he's going to pair up nicely with Hollywood Brown there in Kansas City. I think we're going to see not one, but two Tyreek Hill-esque speed guys playing in that Kansas City
finally
offense.
See Hollywood Brown reach his potential.
Yeah. Under a certain guy by the name of Patrick Mahomes.
Now has two receivers ever went back-to-back in the first round in the same college?
I don't think so.
I don't know either.
Wait a minute. 3, technically. Jameson Williams.
But pick, back-to-back-to-back pick.
Jameson Williams, Garrett Wilson, and...
Olave.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's...
3 Ohio
If we're
State
wrong,
receivers.
let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the first round. Very, very, very interesting. Scary with surprises. No,
Not
not really.
Not really.
All right, so we are huge Steeler fans here. So what we're going to do is continue on with the rest of the Steelers draft. Okay, in the second round, I have the Steelers taking Mr. Zach Frazier, center from West Virginia. Big enough, not really super athletic, but to play center in the NFL, Steelers do like to pull, but we have other athletic linemen. I think he's just going to be that steadying force in the middle that they're going to need. Who do you got?
I, crazily enough, think Jackson Powers Johnson here.
I think he's going to fall all the way to 51.
I think he falls to 51.
Wow.
You know, you've got Barton and Frazier who are right there. And, you know, as much as I think Frazier may be the more ready to go now, I think in the long term, I think Powers Johnson is going to be probably the best of the three later on.
With saying that, the Steelers need a center right now.
Yeah.
And
I still think Powers Johnson can do that job.
Just with taking Mims, if that happens, and then having somebody that also is a building process kind of guy, that worries me a touch. All right, so let's move on to the third round. And that is pick number 84. Now, the Steelers have two third-round picks, and these could go in either order, but I'm going to go ahead and just go in the way I have them written down here. I have a certain Mr. 49 running back's brother, Luke McCaffrey from Rice. The Steelers right now, they have a deep threat with Mr. Pickens. They have the tight end. They're going to look for a reliable possession receiver, a Wes Welker type, Julian Edelman type. And I think Mr. McCaffrey, it's in his blood. It's in his blood. Can be that guy for them. And that's, of course, he's out of Rice.
Speaking of Rice.
I can't have Rice. It's too many carbs.
I'm taking Brendan. I'm taking the son of the GOAT. I think he's another big body
Can you,
receiver.
say things? I don't know all the players in the league. Can you say name, position, college?
I'm taking Brendan Rice, the wide receiver from USC.
Okay,
I'm taking, Jerry's son. Taking a big body receiver that can get down the field just like George can.
Right.
I think it's a great pairing for the two, and I think, whoever may play quarterback, I think it's great for both of them.
Okay. I just like the mix of having a possession receiver, deep threat. I mean, I guess you can get a possession receiver later on, or find them in free agency.
Tyler Boyd's still available.
All right, so my other third-round pick, I have them going with the cornerback from Penn State, Johnny Dixon. Big guy, kind of like Mr. Porter. They already have college teammate of his. We'd have two large, dominant, locked-down cornerbacks.
Yeah. I have them going a little bit of a different route. You and I were talking about this earlier. I think there's a guy that, sadly, soon we have to replace. So I think we get out ahead of that. And I think we take Michael Hall Jr., defensive tackle out of Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think Hall may go. Now, if they take him with pick number, pick number 84, he may be around for that. But for me, all of the compensating pick at 98, I don't know if he's going to be around for that. All right, so into the fourth round, at pick 119, I have them meeting those needs, Mr. Dwayne Carter from Duke. Out of the available mid-level, second-day defensive tackles, he's more of a complete package than a lot of guys. You have a lot of guys that are rush guys. You have a lot of guys that are, mainly run stoppers. He probably gives you more of the complete package out of the guys that are available.
Now, I think at this point, I do want to take a cornerback, but there's one that I want that I think we can get a little later on. So I'm going to go with Trevin Wallace from Kentucky. I think a good inside linebacker that can be young, can be developed. I think it's a great fit for them. We don't know if Queen's going to be here after year 3. So,
I mean, that's 3 years. It's quite a long time. But
the thing is that gives us perfect time to develop it.
True.
And Mark Robinson's not doing what we wanted him to, somehow, some way.
Okay, so we're well into the 6th round, because Steelers have no 5th round pick. Now these, I don't know these guys, and I'm just looking at ratings and stuff. At, what is the 6th round pick here? What is that? Number 178. I have them taking Bo Brady, Maryland, safety. I know that safety is one of the positions that we lack depth, so they're going to look to fill that, and unfortunately for them, they have other needs, pressing needs ahead of that, and they don't pick again until the 6th. So they're going to try to take their best stab at getting the quality player.
I think this is where I take my corner. And I'm taking Kalen King from Penn State.
Okay.
I think that when Joey was there, the two guys that were on the field the most for Penn State at corner were Joey Porter and Kalen King. And that way you can have a cornerback room, the Porter, King, Rush, and Trice, that gives you 4 great young corners, great potential, great upside. I think it's a perfect fit there at 178.
Okay. And the final pick for the Steelers will be round 6, 195. And I have them taking, and you're going to have to pronounce this because I can.
Edifon Ulofoshio.
Inside linebacker from Washington. Out of the inside linebackers, this is kind of how I picked the defensive line. This guy seems to be the most complete as far as decent 40 time, decent tackler, and we're going to get some sort of coverage. Obviously, in the 6th round, you're not going to get, I mean, you never know, but you're not going to, get a top line guy. But out of everyone that was available from 4 to 6, I like this guy the most.
I'm going to have a little fun with 195.
Long
There's a
snapper.
receiver. There's a receiver there at Boston College. He goes by the name of Dino Tomlin. You know, we've done right by Cam. We've done right by the Herbigs. We've done right by all these siblings. But I think this time we throw Coach Tomlin a bone. We draft his
There's
son.
no way they can get away with
At
that.
195, we draft Dino Tomlin.
Wow, that would be crazy. I don't think... Maybe this is the whole plan all along. Micah's got all these siblings, so when it's time to draft his kid, it doesn't seem out of place.
I think it's something that
Mike playing the long game.
Yeah, I think we're drafting Dino Tomlin.
That would be interesting. Very cool. All right, guys, that's it for our draft. Tell us what you think. Tell us who your picks are. Tell us why we're wrong. And if we are, we don't care because we don't get paid to be experts. We just, we like looking at it, analyzing it, take our stabs. I appreciate you. This is the first thing on my podcast channel. The podcast channel, we're going to try to get stuff out regularly, at least maybe once a week or something like that. So please subscribe. Make sure you check out my other channels. My main channel, my rap channel, my country channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to all those. I appreciate you very much. Mitchmaster, appreciate you very much. You will see me again. Peace and love.
I can't believe you're still here. Did you fall asleep? If you liked this video, I suggest you subscribe and or seek professional help. Your choice.